So welcome to a special hat edition of His Left.
All right.
So we watched the Michael Moore and Trumpland movie last night. I like Michael Moore. I know that he can exaggerate. He'll stretch the truth to make a point. But, you know, that's what people do. And the premise of this is he went to a city in Ohio and did a live show at a local theater and invited people to come down and watch. And it was a mix of Trump people and Clinton people and third parties and no parties. And he talked about Hillary Clinton in the upcoming election.
I was very pleasantly surprised because I am not a huge fan of Michael Moore. Everything that I've ever seen that he's done is pretty angry, and I was very pleasantly surprised. The movie was done very well. It was all very light and funny. You know, there were jokes about Muslims and drones. Like, who can joke about that successfully? And I thought he did a really good job. It's really tastefully done, and they had a Mexican section and they built a wall up around it, which I don't care who you are, that's funny.
And then in order for them to go home, they had to pay to get out through the wall. And he basically just talked about why he felt that even if you don't like Hillary Clinton, it's better to vote for the devil you know than the devil you don't. Because he made a really good point, because he said that he'd never voted for Hillary.
Right.
Because he had voted for Bernie in the primaries. It was very entertaining. It's like an hour and 11 minutes long. It's not that long. I think it's like worth looking at before the election if you're sitting on the fence. Even if you've decided you're going to vote for Trump or Clinton, I think it would be good. It was funny.
It was entertaining. For me, it wasn't really a game changer in terms of changing my mind about who Hillary is. But what I loved about it was called Michael Moore and Trumpland. So I assumed, like the Dinesh D'Souza movie, where he really picked apart the Democratic Party, I really expected that he was going to pick Trump apart. And there were a few jokes at Trump's expense, but most of the movie was about his abiding love for Hillary Clinton and just focusing on the positive. I think that's, for me, part of the reason why we do what we do, is because we want to bring love to the argument instead of all the hate that's being spewed around. And he does.
You know, we're all Americans, right? Let's just start there. Regardless who we're voting for, right? We're all in the same boat, and we're going to sink or swim together. And I'd rather we swim, because I believe we have more things in common than not.
There were a few things that I was bothered by. One of them was that he was kind of dismissing common notions about her, and the notion of her being dishonest came up. And the only thing he talked about her being dishonest was her not disclosing that she had pneumonia, which, my gosh, that's like the least of her problems. There are so many things that she's blatantly lied about that you know the truth, the public knows the truth, but she's lying. To me, her dishonesty is a huge issue. That's why I can't personally vote for her. And he didn't really address that, maybe because, I mean, frankly, it's a big issue. You'd have to go into a lot of detail.
Well, plus it's you know, where you want to put your focus.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, people that don't like her are obviously going to focus on that. And he didn't put his focus there.
Right.
On that. So.
But I just mean in terms of dispelling reasons why people wouldn't vote for her. That's a huge one. A lot of people cite her dishonesty. So he didn't really do much to dispel her dishonesty, you know?
Yeah, but in general, there's just a great distrust in government.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's...
Congress is like 9% approval rating.
Yeah. So people generally
don't
trust politicians, and I get that. But another thing that I took issue with was he made an argument that 50,000 people in the United States die because they don't have adequate health care. Per year. So he calculated that from the time that Hillary Clinton was trying to get while Bill was president, and she was working on health care. And I guess she did a lot of really good work in investigating the way other countries work. And people really ridiculed her and put her down. Like, he made this like 50,000 times 20 years, whatever it was. He came up with a huge amount of people that died because of our healthcare system.
Because they either didn't have coverage or they didn't have enough coverage.
Yeah, but without taking into account, I do analysis for a living, so I kind of know what goes into it. And you really have to take in all the contingencies, and you have to look at not just who didn't have health coverage, but are other countries' systems adequate to handle the illnesses? And it was really far-fetched. It was an exaggeration, but he made a point. That was his intention. And he's not like I wouldn't call him like a what would you call it, documentarian, right? I mean, he's more comedian with really strong political opinions. So he has that license, I think, to that you're not really looking at him as a statistician. So I guess it can be overlooked.
No, I don't think he would claim to be a statistician.
Right.
It's just like if you listen to talk radio, they're going to emphasize the negative aspects, and they're not going to give you the whole story, because neither side gives the whole story. There's a story on both sides, and both sides need to be looked at.
They're only going to give you the side of the story that backs
them up, and that's just it's human nature.
Right.
In summation.
Oh, see it.
See it. It's good. It's fun. It's like it's short.
Yeah,
and,
for nothing else but the Muslim drone joke. That was totally
there was some
worth
funny
it.
stuff in there. He was pretty funny.
That was worth the price of admission.
And go check it out. Michael Moore in Trumpland. Very interesting. Very well done, Michael. Love you, Michael.
Like you a lot. That's all the further I'm going today.
Okay.